What's going on, swim fans? This is part 6 of our video series in how to improve your breaststroke, how to swim with perfect technique. Today we're focusing on maximum distance per stroke. This is short MDPS. Now this is really important, especially in breaststroke, because if you watch the best swimmers in the world, they're not taking a lot of strokes. They have a lot of power per stroke. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you a few different drills that you can incorporate and different sets within a workout that I'm actually gonna follow on my Apple Watch with the MySwimPro app. And we're really gonna focus on how we can maximize our distance per stroke. Now, if you haven't watched the beginning of this series, this is a 6-part series. I'm gonna go ahead and lay that out right here on the screen. We talked about our timing, our kick, our pull, our breathing, how we do the breaststroke pull out, and now we're putting it all together. So if you've been watching all of the series, let me know down below in the comments what you think, what questions you have, and if you guys are ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Today's drill set is powered by the MySwimPro app, and it's gonna be running on my Apple Watch. I have the entire workout laid out for me, set by set. We're kicking things off with a short freestyle warm-up. Then I'm gonna do each of the strokes to get things cooking. And now we're moving into my main drill set. And let me tell you, I've been doing this maximum distance per stroke set for the last 15 years. I absolutely love it, and I know it can help you as well. The way it works, we're gonna do a series of 25s, and we're gonna count how many strokes we take per length. On the first 25, you're just gonna count how many strokes you take, and that's your baseline. You can do a pull-out, just don't count it. And every time you take a breath, basically that's 1 stroke. So when I do this, I start out and I take 5 strokes on the first go. Now the next 25, you're gonna reduce your stroke count by 1. So if you started at 12, now you're gonna take 11. If you started at 5 like me, now I'm gonna take 4. And the goal here is to not only extend your pull-out, but also increase your distance per stroke. Remember, the focus of today's video is maximum distance per stroke, because that means we have the most power per stroke and the most efficiency. If you look at the fastest swimmers in the world, they're taking the least amount of strokes, and they have the most technical efficiency and the most power. Now on the third 25, you're gonna take off yet another stroke. So if you started at 5, now you're at 3. If you started at 12, now you're at 10. And then on the fourth 25, you're actually gonna drop another one. So your goal is to get from 5 to 4 to 3 and then 2. And then on number 5 of this series, you're gonna try and go 1 lower. You're gonna need to be really patient. You're really gonna have to stretch it out. And if you start at 12, now maybe you're taking 8 strokes or 7 strokes. Whatever your goal is, you should have dropped 3 or 4 strokes off of what you started. And this is really gonna require your patience. You're gonna feel like you're not even moving, and that's the point of the drill. The next part is to ladder our way back up. So if you're down to 1 stroke, now you're gonna go to 2 strokes. And then on the following 25, we're gonna take 3. Now what's gonna happen is, as you count up your strokes, you're gonna feel faster and faster because your body got used to being patient, and it forces you to have the most efficient timing of the stroke. Remember, breaststroke is all about timing. Pull, kick, glide. And as we've discussed in this series, how important each component is, whether it's the kick, the pull-outs themselves, the timing, all of it comes together. And by the time you get up to 8 25s, you're back where you started or 1 less than where you started, and you should feel like you're absolutely flying. It should feel easier to take the same number of strokes and swim faster, or you can swim with less strokes and swim just as fast as you did before. Now the goal of this drill cycle is to go through this series 2 rounds. So if you do 16 25s, you're really doing 2 rounds of 8 25s where you count down your strokes and you count up your strokes. Now once you put it all together, you're gonna be swimming breaststroke so much more efficiently with so much better distance per stroke. Your goal is maximizing your distance per stroke and having more power per stroke. So the next part of the series here is to put it all together, and I'm gonna do 5 100s, and I'm gonna alternate breaststroke and freestyle. The first 100 of these 5 is just freestyle. Then we're gonna layer in a 25 breaststroke on each repetition. So the second one is gonna be 25 breaths, 75 free, then 50 breaths, 50 free, then 75 breaths, 25 free, and the last one is a full 100 breaststroke, and you have to count your strokes on this. At this point in my swimming career, I count how many strokes I take on every single 25 or 50 breaststroke. It's actually bizarre for me to not naturally count. Now, if you don't like counting your strokes and that's too much work, that's fine. But for the scope of this drill, really focus on counting your strokes and trying to make it as consistent as possible from 25 to 25. Now, if you dive in like I did, your first 25 is going to be lower because you had the dive. But what happens naturally is you start to decrease your distance per stroke as you get tired, as your body starts to fall apart, as your timing becomes less sharp. It's your goal to try and maintain as much as possible. And when you get to an elite level, you can do this in a swimming competition. So even if you're not competing, it's really good to have an idea of how many strokes you take. And the goal of doing drills like this and others is to maximize your efficiency. So if you want more drills like this and you want more structured workouts and a personalized training program, you gotta check out the MySwimPro app for iPhone and Android. Check it out, swim faster and smarter than ever before. Max distance per stroke is so important to having an efficient breaststroke. The best swimmers in the world maximize their distance per stroke and their pullouts on every single length. So if you want to swim faster and smarter than ever before, make sure you watch this video series all the way from the beginning. We talk about the timing, the kick, the pull, breathing, the pullouts, and of course, max distance per stroke. Make sure you let me know what questions you have down below in the comments, and I'll catch you guys at the next video. Happy swimming.